Hello and welcome to the Stress Mastery Podcast. I am your host, Peggy Romero. I thank you so much for joining me today. It's Saturday, and this week we've been talking about self-love. So, regard for one's own well-being and happiness, chiefly considered as a desirable rather than the narcissistic characteristic, okay? So what does that mean? Self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from actions that support our physical, psychological, and spiritual growth. Self-love means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. Wow, I wish I would have learned that a long time ago. Self-love becomes a deep and complex subject because if you're like me, it's kind of hard to comprehend and accept because I was raised to put everybody else first. I was taught to take care of myself first was actually selfish. I never heard of the kind of selfish that we talk about here with the capital S. I never heard about that till Stress Mastery. So to decide that I'm putting my own well-being and happiness before somebody else's seems a little crazy and wrong to me. I'm sure many of you were parents at a young age like I was. I had my daughter Melissa when I was only 18. Back then I couldn't have dreamed of ever taking care of myself first. Eating first, buying my clothes first, even prioritizing time for myself, going for a walk or something. If that didn't fit in, it wasn't going to happen. I had a lot to do. Firstly, worrying about how to be a mom and about playing a game or reading a book to my child. I really wanted my kids to do good in life. I knew that they were at a disadvantage being raised by a really young mom. I couldn't think about the sacrifice that it would take for me to, maybe go to school, go to college, so that I could get a good job. Remember, I was raised to be a housewife, and what I needed to do was stay home with my kids. If I was going to be a good mom, well, in my parents' eyes anyways, I had to stay home. Remember, that's the programming. We all have it. We've all were raised through the same stages of development. We were programmed with our beliefs, and our behavior stems from those beliefs. Our behavior is going to be dictated by what we hold in mind. So for me, to get my kids babysat and go to school so that I could try to better myself would have been absolutely ridiculous. So it would have been selfish and not the kind with the capital S. So is that how it happens then? That we live our lives without truly loving and appreciating ourselves for who we really are, who we could be? The reason that this feels so complex, I think, is because we also have that survival instinct. I mean, we're born with that. We know with this innate sense that we have to take care of ourselves. So if we don't do that, it's completely unnatural. In fact, I don't really think we could do it. So I guess I've just had to come to understand that I was born to live this life where I do have to take care of myself, to be responsible for things that I have and the things that have been given to me. I guess that means to be a good steward. So every day, the day gets full of stress and other things that are trying to take away our peace and joy. So we have to love ourselves enough, self-love, in order to decide to refuel ourselves. Let's call it refilling your cup. You're disappointed about a setback. Your bills are higher than you thought, so you don't get to do this or that like you wanted to do. Your vacation wasn't approved at work. Someone hurt your feelings again, or did that to you again. Your neighbor crossed you again, whatever it is. All of those things, they empty your cup. I want to encourage you today. Make it a point to refill your cup. Self-love is refilling your cup. Gratitude, forgiveness, having a song in your heart. Those are just a few things that can refill your cup. Sing a song and dance. Buy yourself a new outfit or go get your nails done. Get a massage. Call a friend on the phone. Schedule an exercise class and then go to it. You know the things that you need to do to make you feel good? Just do something. It's a balance, I guess, but I know self-love is important. Self-love is very important. I don't remember how old I was or what the situation was when I realized that, holy smokes, man, if I don't take care of myself, nobody else is going to take care of me in this life either. Wow, I'm not sure. I just remember that it happened. And I guess it's a realization that probably everybody goes through. So I have made some bad choices. They're really funny thing about the worst choices that I ever made. I knew that I was about to make a mistake, and then I did it anyways. So thankfully, I've learned to listen to my gut. And I've also learned to let those bad decisions go. I don't want to live with regret. Of course, there are things about ourselves that we want to change. I mean, that's just the way it is. There are things that we've done and allowed that we wish we hadn't. Sometimes we realize those things are just like they're too hard to accept. We can't make them right. So don't accept them. Let them go. Forgive yourself. Forgive that person who hurt you. Forgive yourself for whatever you've done. I'm telling you, just let it go. Stop beating yourself up. You cannot change your past. Yesterday is gone. It doesn't matter how much you think about it. It's gone. And we all make lots of mistakes because we're human. That is the truth. And it's true for all of us. But here's the bottom line. Through stress mastery, you can take the steps, learn the let go technique, because you got to let it go. Empty your heart and soul of the pain. We have to learn to forgive ourselves and move on. Give yourself some grace. That is self-love. Self-love is loving who I am, even though I'm not entirely who I want to be yet. But here's the truth. I am whole, perfect, powerful, and strong. I'm loving, harmonious, and happy. I am healthy. I'm precious. I'm worthwhile. And I'm worth the time and the love it takes for me to create the life that I want. And that's how you are too. When we don't have self-love, I suppose that kind of means that we don't have respect for ourselves, or we don't feel deserving, or perhaps we see ourselves as unworthy. Okay, so if that's the case, how are we ever even going to take care of our basic needs? You guys, I've been in such crappy relationships before that I stopped caring enough about myself to do the things I needed to do for myself. So then, like, without even really knowing consciously what I was doing, I began to expect another person to do it for me. Of course, this was me trying to manipulate the situation. For instance, I figure if I could get him to see this lack in me, that he would step up to fill that need. This way, I could turn him into what I needed him to be in the hope that he could fulfill my expectations, my emptiness. Do you think it worked? If you said no, you'd be right. It doesn't work. It didn't work for me, and it won't work for you either. We got to take care of ourselves, people. But here's the promise. This is the good news. God knew what he was doing when he created you. You have everything you need inside you. We weren't put here to merely get by. We were put here to expand and grow and be full of love and peace and joy. When we have that self-love, we are the most powerful. Now we can truly love, and it overflows onto others. Man, that's an awesome life, right? On the flip side, I've had times in my life where I felt so helpless, so full of pain and fear, I didn't even know how I could live with myself. I didn't even want to. I didn't even really know the person that I was becoming. I couldn't stand me. I wasn't proud of me. I didn't have faith in me. And I also didn't know where to turn or what to do. So while I've never went through a phase of hating myself, thankfully, I certainly didn't love myself either. You guys, here's the thing. You're perfect. We are not a body that have a soul. First of all, we are the soul. And we're here for a purpose. God put you here for a reason. We're not bodies that have a soul inside of us. We're souls that came here in this body so that we could live this human experience. So I get so down on myself sometimes. Of course, I enjoy when I feel good and look good. Of course, just like you do. We all do. So why in the world do I go through phases where I go, oh, screw it, and go back to my old ways of eating? Why do I self-sabotage myself? I love to get up in the morning early. I love to go for a walk. So how come some days I hear that voice in my head saying, just relax, you can go later? Why would I ever even pay attention to that small voice? Never mind, listen to that voice. It isn't even me, after all. That voice doesn't come from my heart. And you know what? If I had true self-love every moment, I don't think I'd notice that voice as much. I don't think I'd ever be tempted by it. It wouldn't even be a thing. You know, Bill's always talking about having a habit become a skill. and that we just do it without thinking. And there are many skills that I've mastered, happy to say. Many things that I do without thought that are good things. So sure, I have a long ways to go. But I gotta say, now that I started living on purpose, I do love myself more. I'm very happy about that. It feels different. It feels good. You know, before I could have never said out loud, I love me. I saw myself pretty unlovable. Now I can actually say, I love Peggy Romero, and I mean it. So I can say that now. I'm so happy. When it comes to self-love, it's so much easier for me if I can see myself the way God sees me. And after all, He's the creator. I was created in His image, so I should be able to see it like that. And that's amazing. To know that I'm here for a purpose, and so are you. Wow, awesome. To know that I am not a body, I'm a soul, and I'm still exactly as God created me. Now that's inspiring. So when you think of it that way, self-love means I just need to stay connected to God. Stay connected to the creation heart, right? Or to my creation mind, to my heart. So here's me, lacking willpower by eating ice cream is so freaking small compared to our greatness and our influence. I'm here for a purpose. I need to stay connected to the purpose. We're so much greater than the challenges that we have. So the other day I was talking and I realized, okay, wow, I 100% believe, also known as I know, that I healed myself last summer. 3 oncologists told me I had cancer. When the test came back, I didn't. Obviously, it wasn't me that healed me. It was God. But my faith in God, that faith of a mustard seed, I was healed last summer. Now, how can I, with that much healing power, knowing and connection to God, be the same girl who can't put down the stinking ice cream cone? Crazy, huh? Okay, so yeah, I'm crazy. But I got to give myself grace. I have to face my conflicts and deal with my programs, figure out why I want the ice cream in the first place, right? But I also have to learn how to forgive myself. And I've dealt with lots of shame and failures of my past, and I've learned to let go of a whole bunch of the programming that was holding me back, and it set me free. I've learned to incorporate new habits and thoughts, things that do serve my life, who I am now. That fills me with understanding and forgiveness of myself. That helps me love me. Nope. Still not perfect. And while it's true that I may be struggling with that cookie, that cookie actually has nothing on me because I'm a soul. And we cannot let this world beat us down. We have to keep refilling our cup every day. Remember, show yourself some love by refilling your cup. So this reminds me of what they tell you when you're on the plane, because I know lots of you guys are thinking, I don't have time to refill my cup. You got to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can put it on your child or whoever's next to you. You can't take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of yourself. We have to take care of ourselves first. We have to refill our own cup first. Okay, so down to the basics. How do we do this? How about this? Make joy a habit. It's easy to be happy if you can learn to count your blessings. I love my gratitude journal. It's a great tool for doing this. Okay, here's another one because this makes the whole world happy. Train yourself to say thank you with a big smile on your face all day long. Say thank you to everyone. Say thank you to your mailman. Say thank you to your clerk at the store, to the rep on the phone, everyone, and say it with a smile. They can hear a smile through the phone, I promise you. I love to sing all the time, and I notice myself humming a lot. I try to keep it down when I'm out and about. But when I'm alone, I sing out loud all the time. I love to say to my Amazon, I can't say it out loud because she'll start interrupting my podcast. I'll ask her to play whatever song I'm thinking of, and then I just dance around while I'm doing the dishes or mopping or sweeping. It's the ultimate stress reliever. And you can't help but smile when you're doing that. That puts joy in your heart. Okay, make it a habit to see the good in everyone and everything. Remember, what we see in others is a mirror of ourselves. So really, when you decide to see the good in them, you're also choosing to see the best in yourself. Brings joy. Decide to be grateful in everything. So maybe something didn't go exactly the way you wanted, but you don't know what would have happened if it had. Remember, it's not all bad. Be grateful for everything that you have. See the beauty in everything around you. Notice how magnificent this wonderful world is. Be happy about it in your heart. That's self-love. You know, life goes so much better when you see the good. Every day is better because you'll have continued joy. You'll keep refilling your cup. That's a great way of taking care of yourself. So we all know the ego's negative dialogue going on and on and on, spinning all through your mind all throughout the day. Make sure that that's not the voice you're listening to. Do your best to make sure you're listening to your true self. All you have to do is notice who's talking. It's awareness. Who has conscious mind control right now? Is it the ego, that stinking inner critic, the small voice? Let go of those thoughts as soon as you notice them. Just notice them. Let them go. And do your best never to let that junk connect to your heart. Because your heart is that eternal spring that keeps refilling your cup. Picture your heart overflowing with joy. And that joy will never run out. Intentionally stay connected to your heart. Because that's you. That's the real you, your true self. It is the eternal spring. But it's a gift. And it's a gift that you have to decide to accept. You have to stay connected to it. So I get it. We all get down sometimes. Sometimes we're down on other people, sometimes life, sometimes just on ourselves. Things are constantly coming at us, and that's never going to change. To be honest, some days I feel like I'm playing that game whack-a-mole. You knock something down and something else pops up. Well, each time that happens, a little bit more is getting spilled out of your cup. But remember the good news. It's easy. All you have to do is remember. You're full of joy. It's awareness. Connect to the positive. Connect to your heart. Be thankful. Be kind to someone. Or maybe you just need to be kind to yourself. Say something nice to you. Just be loving. This will refill your cup over and over and over. You guys, this is self-love. Letting go of your past. There's nothing you can ever do. You're never going to get a day back. The only time that you have is right now. So please don't waste it. Connect to who you truly are. Let something go that hurts you. Take a breath. Connect to this moment. Do you feel that connection? Do you feel the peace? You can access that anytime you want to. You just connect to your heart. Refills your cup. And it will make the day go better. Full of joy. That is self-love. I hope this helps you guys. I want you to be happy in your heart. I thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm grateful that you guys like my show. Let's stay connected. Follow me at PeggyWithPurpose on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and you can also visit my website at PeggyRomero.com. I try to put blogs in there regularly, and I have lots of other resources that may help you on your journey. So guys, thanks for listening, and that's it for today's podcast. Remember, our mission here is to create a shift in the planet. And you're part of that too. If you smile at someone today, you're helping create the shift. You can join us on the mission by simply like, share, and subscribe, and smile. The links are right below the show notes. As always, until next time, stay inspired.